What's up, YouTube? Mr. Ferguson is back. I'm here again. Thank you guys so much for coming back for another video here in Central North Carolina. I've been in Central America, South America. That was close. But anyways, I'm back in the United States. Thank you so much for tuning in to this. Finally, some new content for you all. Feels like forever since I've been back on YouTube. I do want to mention I'm not going to talk anything about lawn care here in the beginning of the video. Here is the timestamp you can jump to. If you just want to hear lawn care, go to this time on the video. I'm going to be talking about my trip to Ecuador. I'm going to be showing pictures and videos possibly, and talking about the work we've been doing for the past 7 days there. Then we will jump into lawn care at the end of the video. So some may not care about it, then jump ahead. But if you are, here we go. I want to tell you a little bit about what I've been doing for a week. So thank you for those that have continued to watch this part in this section of the video. So man, it's good to be back home. I'm still trying to get back into the saddle of getting used to the time. It's only an hour difference from Ecuador time to America. But man, those plane rides and everything, we got in at like, I didn't get even back to the house till 4:35, 5 something in the morning on Sunday morning. And then had to go to work Monday. So it's just been a process of trying to get back in my routine. And I'm just still feeling sluggy, but I'm feeling a little bit better today than I was Monday. I've just been so tired. Like, man, I don't remember being this tired from Ecuador, so maybe it's just getting older. I don't know. But man, what a trip it was. It was amazing. For those, again, that are watching this portion of it, thank you so much. I try to do my best this year every day, just like my dad. He would post on Facebook every day for people here back home to show them what we're doing in Ecuador. I would do the same on Instagram. Here's some of the pictures I took when I was able to of the hotel, of the area we were in, and what God was doing. And so in total, the good news, in total, over 445 people come to know Jesus in Guayaquil, Ecuador, because of our 2 ministry teams planted 2 different churches in 2 different areas. We had a total, I want to say somewhere around 40 people, maybe total. I mean, it may have been 35. We didn't have a very large team from past times, but we split off. One team worked with one pastor, and our team worked with another pastor. These are 2 pastors in Ecuador. This was his first time, has no church, and when we left, he had a church full of people. We had a celebration Friday night service, and there was tons of people there that showed up that weren't there on Monday. That was the amazing part to me, to step off the bus. It's just our team, 12 people or so, 13 people, and then a pastor and his wife, and he's got a building. He has no congregation. He has no church. We go out into the community. We ask people, we tell people while we're there, we have a free mobile medical clinic. It's going to be in front of the church starting Saturday after we leave. Please bring your family. That really perks up their ears. And because a lot of people in Ecuador need medical attention, they can't afford it. So that really gets their attention. And when it's American medicine, that really, really gets their attention. We don't understand. You watching, you don't really understand. If you've never been outside the country, you don't understand how privileged you have it to have American medicine and live in the United States of America. That's why I want to get my 15-year-old daughter, who'll be 16 next year, to be able to go with me to see for herself and be surrounded and experience what it's like to be in another nation and what these people live like that is so different from us here in America. I highly encourage you to go, if you ever get the opportunity to go to another nation like South America. But anyways, then we tell them about the free medical clinic. We ask if there's anything we can pray about. And almost every single one of them say the same thing: pray for my health, pray for my family. Some every now and then will say, yeah, my mom's got cancer, or my brother, or blah, blah. Some of them will be, have something, but otherwise it's, no, I'm good. Pray for my health. Pray for my family, pray for the crime, pray for Ecuador. And then after we pray for that, then we say, you want to see an illustration? And we have a cube. I don't have it here with me, but we show them a cube. And it's basically the gospel message in a quick cube, about how Jesus came, he died. We have sin. Jesus died on the cross for all of our sin. He went into the grave. He arose on the third day, and now he's reaching down to you. And then we ask him the question, do you want this same Jesus to come into your life like all of us have prayed and ask him into our heart to forgive us of our sin? Would you like to do that? Most of them say, yeah. Why would I not want to? Because we don't ask for money. We're not asking for them to pay anything. But some people say, no, I'm not ready for that. And we say, okay, it's your decision to make. And so some say no. Many said yes. 445 people said yes. So we give God glory for that. But we were able to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday morning out into this community, walking door to door, street to street, telling people about Jesus, and many coming to know him as Savior. And lots of stories. I had a lady that worked at a bar, at a billiards. It was in the afternoon. Pool tables, bar. She was there by herself. Looked like she might be in her 20s. Just looked depressed and sad. And I prayed with her, and she was able to ask Jesus in her heart. She said yes. And so I continue to pray for this girl who knows what she's around when all the guys come drinking after work or whatever. If she's there by herself, who knows? And she lives right above the bar and said she owns it. So she was on my heart. And when we said, oh, it's a bar, I said, I'll take this house. Let me do this one. And it was a girl that worked there. But she gave her heart to Jesus. So I'm praying for her. It was another very special story of, there's many stories. I'm not getting into all of them, but there was a lady who, when we showed up, basically to shorten the story, there was two elderly people sitting outside the home. It was a brother and sister. One was 80 something, one was 70, high 70 something. The guy was crippled basically and couldn't barely walk. The lady, we were told, couldn't sleep at night because of things that had happened in her childhood. She's 80 some years old, and she'd get up all hours of the night because she has no peace when she sleeps. But it was a lady that her daughter, who was in the home taking care of her mom and her uncle, those were the two elderly sitting outside the home, was a believer in Jesus. And she said, I know God has sent y'all to my house. In Spanish, obviously we have interpreters. She said, I know, I can look at you and tell the Lord. And she looked at me, and I just started bawling. I couldn't, I was crying that one house. I cried the whole time. I don't know what, but she said, I can see the Lord in that man. And I got down and on my knees, we prayed for that man. He stood up, he walked to the car, and he came to that church service that night, crippled man, and got himself there in the back of an SUV, an SUV chest high, right? I mean, he had to climb up in there crippled, but he got to that church. The determination for that man to come to that church. He accepted Jesus in his heart for the first time in his life at 70 something years old. He had never asked Jesus in his heart, but he did that day we were there. And to watch, I watched his sister, his niece, his niece that had been praying and praying and praying for her uncle to get saved, and he hadn't done it. I watched her while he prayed to ask Jesus in his heart. My dad was leading him to the Lord. I was watching her, and she's just over there crying. I'm like, how amazing when you're praying in Ecuador. She's praying and praying and praying, and here comes 6 missionaries from America to your house one day, and then her uncle gives his heart to Jesus. Just one day, like she walks out of her house and here's all these missionaries, and now her brother knows the Lord as Lord and Savior for the first time. I just watched her cry and just bawl, and it made me cry. And she's like, I want my brother to be healed so he can come to the church. I want my mom, these nightmares, the things of her past, I want to be able to pray. And so we stood there for longer than some other houses, and we prayed. And man, just the Spirit of God was right there on that area, like I've never felt really at a home before. And I just couldn't contain it. I hugged that lady, and she just blessed my heart, and she's speaking Spanish, and I'm just bawling because I don't know what it was. There was just a connection there that she needed a hug, and I'm just bawling, and it just encouraged me in my faith at that time. And it was just an awesome time that I can't describe in words. It sounds silly to probably somebody watching this, but to me, that trip, I told her that you've made this trip, your faith, this woman that prayed day after day after day for her uncle, for her mom. Lord, do you hear me? Lord, do you hear me? And here we come, and he gives his heart to Jesus. And they come to the church service Friday night, and she stands up in front of everybody with the microphone and gives a testimony to God about how he has saved her uncle. It's just amazing how awesome God knows what we need when we need it, where we needed to be when we needed to be there. at the right time. It's just God blows my mind each and every time I go on this trip, and I'm excited to go again next year. So anyways, lots of stories. You can check out my Instagram if you did not see that, but you want to see pictures. If I didn't post some here, check out my Instagram, Mr. Ferguson Lawn on Instagram. You may be able to just pull it up without having an account and look at some of the pictures. I posted most there. I got tons of pictures and stuff from the hotel to the streets, and check it out. But thank you for those that wanted to know. 445 new people in Ecuador or more. There's a whole nother story I could tell you about the rehab center. They've never been ministered to. We had a lady and her husband go that are former addicts. They went to a rehab facility. Unbelievable testimony of what God did there. In a spiritual way, just powerful. But anyways, we don't have the time. So, all right. So at this time, let's welcome in all the people that just wanted lawn care. So let's get into that mode. So thank you for those that wanted to hear that. For those that are ready to hear about lawn care, man, I couldn't believe all the rain that I heard about. My wife texted me on the way back and said the grass is really long, it needs mowed. And so Miss Ferguson stepped up in this shirt. She sent me a picture, sweaty and all, mowed the lawn before I left. So we're going to quickly grab the phone off the tripod and talk as we walk, and basically show you where we are since we last joined together. Just as a quick recap before we do that, remember I did put down one small bag of stress blend fertilizer before I left. And so I was like, okay, that's a little bit of nitrogen, but that's going to cause a little bit of growth, even if it don't rain. Well, it did rain. It rained buckets while I was gone. We continue ever since the drought. We had that one period of drought where we had grass die off. Had we not had that little bit of drought, my lawn would be booking it this year, just like last year. But we had that area, that time, that month of June, basically, and the beginning of July where we got no rain. And so we still have die off in the lawn. But man, what a recovery, adding the fert, and what a recovery the rain has brought back. So let's take you off the tripod, and let's quickly just show you, upon my return from Ecuador, here is what my lawn is looking like. So again, we're going to be brief, but we still have in areas die off, as you see right here. This was all white. It is, a lot of it's come back. Just like, now many of you have already said, Mr. Ferguson, you're going to be surprised how much of this comes back. And I agreed with you, and that is exactly what I've seen. Look at that. It is, you can go back to, what, 5-6 videos ago and see where we were. Now, it looks like from here, I'm not going to walk down there, but under and by the shed back here, some of that does look really thin. Madison said it rained so hard, we had a flood coming through the middle of the back lawn, like through here. Now, that's been a long time since we had so much rain. It went right through the middle of the grass, but she said it was that much rain. We've had tons of rain. Remember this area, this has just impressed me because we had brown right here towards the end of the drought. It just started browning up, and a lot of that has come back. That's amazing. That's a testament, I think, to the deep rooted grass that we have here in the backyard, but that's looking great. When we move over here, we got more brown this way. We still have some right here that's not recovered, but a lot of it has. Even right here in front of me, you'll see. It's amazing how we always say, the concrete, the heat coming off the concrete is going to scorch your grass, and yet that's where it's alive. It's behind it that's not getting hit with the concrete, that's dead and not fully coming back. I just think that's crazy how that happens. But you can see the patchiness. Obviously, this looks terrible to me. It is what it is. We've lost trees, as some has mentioned, that one and this one, these two new ones. Actually, that one, yeah, I think that's a new one too, but my wife kept the tags on them, as you may be able to see. So I think she did that for the purpose of, if they don't make it, we can take them back. And I think Lowe's gives us a new tree, actually, to be honest with you, Home Depot. But again, a lot of this, remember, I'm not going to show the picture again, but all of this was white. All of this was crispy. All of this was just amazingly white. And I thought, oh, a lot of this is dead. And look how much this section has come back. Look how thick that looks. And again, I think the stress blend has added a little green in color and a perkiness to the grass, if you will. But we do still have a lot of the dead, that we need to, we're going to run that electric dethatcher before long, get all this up. No, we don't want to seed like this. So if you see this in your lawn, now remember, my grass was super long. I didn't cut it for a month and a half. It'll slowly grow in that time, and it did. But now that it's died, all that is laying over, and it's like thick thatch, if you will. That may not even be the proper term, but it needs to be gotten up. It needs to be raked up. When we seed, we want our seed to hit the ground. So please, if you seeing this similar in your lawn, don't leave it like this when you seed. We got to either rake or dethatch it. So keep that in the back of your mind. It is worth that effort and time to do that before you seed. We want to make sure the seed hits the ground. We don't want it laying on top of this mess right here in the lawn, but you can just see how much this has come back. This looks like night and day from a month ago. Even some die off here on the little strip, and again up by the mailbox. Everybody was like, you need to put heat and drought seed. That's exactly what I put up here near the road and by the concrete, and that's exactly the areas that have died off. Go figure. I don't understand, but some of this is looking pretty good. We got weeds infiltrating. And again, some of y'all pointed to my neighbor. He just cut, I think yesterday, he's got some warm season grass, and he's got some of these weeds which are trying to infiltrate over into my lawn. You see right here. I should be spraying that, not too concerned. Looks like some Bermuda right here, but he's got a mix of warm season and weeds, and it doesn't look bad. I agree with you. It looks pretty good. He mowed, and it's not bad. But again, as soon as it starts getting a colder temperature here soon, all of this is going to start browning out, and you'll see the difference when our fescue is fertilized. We're going to have that transition. So in time, but all of this is dead, not coming back, but we still have a little bit. But you see, man, it looks like some of it may have died off as I was gone. I don't remember this much being gone, but it is what it is. We're going to have to definitely seed this area thick and get it going again. Front yard, same story. Look at that. It's like the tail of, look, you can see where the water came through. You see that big wide area where the water's flowing this way. It's almost like it was mowed, but it was just water. That's how thick, wide the water was going down to Mr. Brandon's house, down towards that creek that Madison told me about. But yeah, obviously with all the rain, a lot of this, if it ain't come back, it's probably not coming back. But we have a little bit of grass come back, but not much. But so down here, somehow it's come back over on that side. But if we take the bank area out of it, the middle part of the lawn looks fabulous, and that's a testament to stress blend. Stress blend looks good when you got grass, but obviously it's not a miracle worker. It's not able to pull grass out of nothing. So definitely have to get all this nasty dead grass out. Now here's the other thing. I remember the first time I did this in my lawn, I did it in July. And then all of August, I had crabgrass pop up and all these weeds, and then I think I sprayed some Roundup to kill that again a second time, and then we seeded and aerated. So I don't know if it's going to, pulling this off too early may allow the sun to penetrate the dirt directly and may actually cause more weeds to pop up. I don't want that. That's why I'm not doing it right now. So that's just my thought. Let me know your comments on that below. But pulling all this dead grass up could just basically, it'll fill in with weeds. Then we have to, and maybe it'll look better that way. I don't know, but I'm not in a hurry to mess with it. So I'm not going to mess with it for the time being. So that's that. But look how awesome the stress blend looks. Again, my wife don't ever cut the grass, but she did a fabulous job. And we got some comeback over here in this area that was always been struggling. But in the middle, just look how beautiful. Yeah, if I just showed you this, you'd be like, man, your lawn is, look how different it looks. Man, the color is just gorgeous. The stress blend, for so little nitrogen, it looks awesome. Highly recommend it. If you've got some stress blend, or if you want to try it out, check it out in the link below. It is a great for summer, and so is the protein. It's a 90-day release from GCI Turf, Pete's got. So a little bit of die off over here in the area we transplanted some grass, so you'll see some of that right here. Trash truck's here, so I'm going to walk away, and you see just how much rain we got with all the rock. I didn't even see that. Good Lord. All the rock that it washed all the way from up here all the way down to my grass. So I'm going to have to deal with that at some point, probably today or tomorrow. Look at all the mulch. Oh my goodness. So it just, a flood came by the house, it looks like. So lots of rain. So I've got to handle all this, even throughout some of the mulch and stuff right here. But the side area looking pretty good. I mean, compared to where we were, guys, this is a major improvement besides all the, the water washing stuff away. I mean, we normally don't get water like that. So I've never seen water and mulch pile up like this. And clearly it flowed all the way down the backside of the house right there. But that is insane that it threw all the rock down. this area. So got to deal with that. But grass wise, looking really good. Again, spottiness, and I wanted to get fungicide down before I left. It didn't happen, and now we got the Hurricane Debbie coming up, so maybe today I could do it. I'm not too concerned. Obviously, we're already looking bad. I would rather use my fungicide when I'm trying to protect it, make it stay looking good. If we lose some, we're just going to be replanting some anyway, so not too concerned. I think I'll save my money and take the chance this year. And now we're back to the backyard, and you can still see a little spotty right here, but man, how this has come back. It's just a night and day difference. So that's what we're looking like after being gone for 7 days. The Lord took care, brought the rain. You can even see some of the mulch. I don't even know where this came from. This is amazing. It rained so much harder than what I've ever seen. My wife, if I still have the video, I'll show you, it probably came from over here and flooded all the way down to the porch. But Madison sent me some videos of just how hard it rained. It was absolutely unbelievable. Buckets, it looked like an arc might flow down the street. But there we are, guys. That's kind of where we are. So we're going to get back into lawn care. We need to also, now that this is finally over, this trip and all these trips are over, as I said before, we're going to start going up to the project lawn. I want to see, what is that looking like? I haven't seen that in several weeks. So we're going to do the same thing up there. What is the project lawn looking like now? I want to document that. We're going to talk about our plan again and go from there. So thank you for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up. Check out the description below. Hit the more button. It'll give you the description, the links if you're interested in some fertilizer for summer while you're waiting, or if you're looking at getting some items for fall. Go ahead. Now is the time to be getting your items for fall and stocking up before everybody else rushes to it and it's out of stock. So keep that in mind. God bless you. We'll see you on the next lawn care video from Central North Carolina.